into misery, where I explain complicated comics, characters and concepts to the patient and the person who collects how My name is Ken Shea, and this week we are doing Black Widow. This week's episode was chosen by John Linden over on Patreon. If you'd like to choose a theme for an episode, or check out any of the other awards we've got going on, head over to patreon.com/kingimpulse. But before we get started with this week's episode, we have a little bit of an addendum to last week's episode about the Inhumans.
Okay.
Tom Ash93 wrote in on the website kingimpulse.com to just kind of fill me in about Attilan and where it was, where it moved to, because I said at some point I've no idea, it moved to the moon, it moved back, it moved again.
Oh yeah.
So he's helped me clear that up a bit, and he says Attilan was originally moved from the Himalayas to the blue area of the moon in Fantastic Four number 240. It was pointlessly returned to Earth in the terrible Atlantis Rising crossover, which explains why it's at Atlantis in the miniseries. Luna was so named as she was the first Inhuman born on the moon.
Yeah, because I said, does she have like moon powers or something?
Yeah. And that was also in Fantastic Four number 240. And in that issue it's also established that Inhuman and mutant genes cross each other out, making her fully human, and thus strictly speaking the Terrigen Mists really shouldn't have worked on her in the Silent War story.
Alright, okay.
So thanks to Tom for that. We really appreciate when people email in and let us know about any mistakes or bits we missed. I realise as I say that it sounds a bit sarcastic, but we really do appreciate it. There's only so much research I can do in a week and stuff is going to get missed out, but if I miss a vital piece of information, please let me know and I will always add it in the next week.
Yes.
So this week, Black Widow. What do you know of the Black Widow?
Not a lot.
Not a lot. What can you tell me about the Black Widow?
She's female.
She's female.
Her name is Natasha.
It's Natasha, yeah.
I know what was in the Avengers.
Okay, what do you know from the Avengers?
Not a lot really. But she's like a sort of assassin.
Yeah.
She wears black.
Mm-hmm.
She has red hair.
Yeah. Do you know where she's from?
Russia? But she wasn't Russian in the film. That's kind of it.
That's
really.
Okay. So we're going to start our little story today with the first Black Widow.
Okay.
In 1940.
It's quite a while ago.
It is. She is a lady named Claire Voyant.
Of course. She doesn't look anything like the one in the movie.
She has nothing to do with the one in the movie.
Okay.
She's just the first Marvel Comics character to be called Black Widow. She, the reason I'm mentioning her is she's nothing to do with the original Black Widow. She's not a spy. She's not Russian. But she is metal as hell.
She's metal as hell. Okay. Why?
She's a medium who is murdered and ends up in the service of Satan.
That's amazing.
He sends her back to Earth so that she can kill evildoers and sacrifice their souls to the Dark Lord.
Oh, wow.
This is 1940.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What?
This is why I need Meninism.
No, it's not. It's why you need Jesus. That is ridiculous.
It's really cool that in 1940 you had this kind of kick-ass, take no bullshit, like female anti-hero.
Yeah.
Well, the idea of an anti-hero wouldn't be invented really for a while, or it wouldn't catch on for a while. She's only ever in 5 comics from 1940 to 1943.
Okay.
And the longest of those stories is only 5 pages.
Aww.
She resurfaced in like the late 2000s, early 2010s in a modern miniseries by a chap named J. Marcus Straczynski, who will be a cause of much frustration fairly soon.
Oh god.
Not in this episode though.
Oh, I'm ready.
And that was about 12 forgotten Golden Age characters who were trapped in suspended animation just after World War II and woke up in modern day times.
So, like Captain America?
Yeah, that pretty much happened to every Golden Age superhero.
Oh, right. That's Captain America's like whole appeal though.
Yeah. I suppose she's still running around the modern Marvel universe, but who knows. But yeah, that's the first Black Widow, Claire Voyant.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
So, generally when we say Black Widow, we're talking about Natalia Romanova, aka Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it, Natasha Romanoff?
That's the more anglicised version of it.
Yeah.
In kind of the late 30s, early 40s, she was raised in the KGB's Red Room,
Okay.
which was kind of their equivalent to the United States Super Soldier Program.
Okay.
While in the Red Room, she is enhanced with all sorts of biological trinkets and life-extending doodads, and that's why she's had such a long life.
Okay.
She's been alive since like the middle of before World War One.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
She seemed like a sort of...
She's been alive since like before World War Two.
Right. She seemed just like mid-20s.
Yeah, that's because of the all tinkering with the body that the Russians did in the Red Room.
Right. Because like in movies and stuff, it doesn't come across that she's anything other than human.
Yeah.
She just seems like someone who was well trained.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. I guess that makes more sense why she was in the Avengers.
Yeah. One of the people she trained under in the Red Room was a man named James Buchanan Barnes.
Bucky.
Bucky.
I know it's Bucky.
AKA the Winter Soldier.
Love you, Bucky.
And the pair even had a brief romantic fling.
I knew about that.
Yeah.
Knew about that.
Eventually she was married off to a Soviet test pilot named Alexei. I was really trying to get that first time. She was married off to a Soviet test pilot named Alexei Shostakov. But when the KGB decided they wanted him to become the Red Guardian, they faked his death to Natalia and the world.
Oh, that's sad.
And that's the Red Guardian.
He's pretty cool.
He's kind of Russian Captain America.
Yeah, I was going to say, he looks like sort of Captain America-esque.
So, her first canonical appearance in the comics comes in an issue of Iron Man, and this is what she looks like when she debuts.
Oh, okay. So, like, a lot of net.
A lot of nets.
A lot of fishnet going on.
She looks a lot like Black Canary.
I don't know who that is, but I can imagine it's...
Did you watch this week's Arrow with me, or did I watch it on my own?
I did watch it with you.
Yeah, you know the lady at the end?
Yeah.
That's Black Canary.
Alright. That's all I know of her.
Yeah. She'll come up at some point, because I imagine we'll cover Green Arrow sooner rather than later.
Yes. We keep mentioning it.
But she's sent by the KGB to assassinate the Crimson Dynamo.
What's that? That's amazing.
The
It looks like a car battery.
The Crimson Dynamo was Russia's answer to the Iron Man suit,
Right.
but the guy inside the suit defected to the US and was working for Stark.
Okay.
So KGB were like, we're not happy with that, so they sent Black Widow over to kill him.
To get rid of him.
She fights Iron Man, and the Crimson Dynamo sacrifices himself to save Tony Stark. So I'm assuming that Black Widow calls that a win.
Yeah, probably.
So, while in America, she hooks up with another criminal named Hawkeye,
Yes!
and the two fall in love.
Oh, yeah. Know about that as well.
She ends up choosing Hawkeye over Mother Russia, so the KGB try to have her killed.
Oh.
Instead, she's wounded and she ends up back in the Red Room to be reprogrammed.
Oh no.
She's once again sent to take on the Avengers, but Hawkeye's in the Avengers now.
Yeah.
And with Clint's help, she snaps free from her psychological conditioning and successfully defects from Russia and becomes a superhero spy.
Just like in the film.
Just like in the film. So she makes a bid to join the Avengers, which Hawkeye is all like, yes, do that.
Do it. I'll back you up.
But she's called on by Nick Fury
Right.
to join S.H.I.E.L.D. instead, to use her spy powers for good.
Yeah.
But as such, she's got to leave Hawkeye to go around the world being a spy and that.
Oh.
She heads to China and winds up taking on the communist threat there, because it's like the Red Scare and all that.
Yes.
She's taken prisoner and the Avengers head over to rescue her, and they come into contact with the thought to be dead Red Guardian,
Yeah.
and at the end of the adventure, he dies for good.
Oh. Oh dear.
After recovering from this ordeal, she's sent on a mission and captured again. And while I was going over this, I just kept coming across this story again and again and again. Just Black Widow getting captured and having to be rescued by men.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It sounds about right though. It's really annoying.
Yeah,
She don't need no man.
she doesn't. But, so to save Black Widow, Hawkeye uses some of Hank Pym's Pym particles.
Okay.
You know who Hank Pym is?
No.
He's the first Ant-Man.
Okay.
So Hawkeye becomes the new Goliath,
That's really cool.
so he can cover it. So he rescues her and the two try and rekindle their romance and be a couple. But Hawkeye's constantly putting Avengers business before them.
Oh no.
So
that
she chucks him.
sucks. Yeah, damn right.
After this, she moves to San Francisco and adopts a sexy new costume.
Yes.
Does the artist look familiar to you?
Is it Greg?
I used this picture on purpose.
Is it Greg?
It's Greg.
Is it our boy Greg?
Our boy Greg Land.
That's just inappropriate. Like, her boobs are gonna fall out of that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I say that in a good way. Like, yeah, it's
No.
great.
I really don't. Even though Greg Land has become somewhat of a hero to me this week.
No, he does not. No. He's still a dick.
So she moves to San Francisco and she hooks up with Daredevil and they start dating.
Okay.
But they eventually break up because she's sick of being and Black Widow.
Yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't want to be Daredevil's sidekick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they need to stop basing her storylines around the fact that she's got a new boyfriend.
Yeah. So she goes solo again and gets captured.
Every time!
She gets brainwashed and reverts to an old cover identity, but ends up being rescued by Spider-Man and Shang-Chi.
Okay, right.
And whilst in the cover identity, she falls in love with Spider-Man for a bit.
I'm not saying it's wrong to fall in love with people, but can it not be her entire story?
Well, she moves to Los Angeles, where she joins one of the oddest teams Marvel have ever put together.
Right.
The Champions of Los Angeles.
What is that? What is the Champions of Los Angeles?
This is the Champions of Los Angeles. It's just such an odd mix of characters.
Okay.
So you've got Hercules,
Yeah.
who is Greek mythical Hercules.
Yeah, he's Hercules.
You've got Ghost Rider,
Right.
who is the Devil's agent of vengeance.
Isn't he Nicolas Cage?
He's Nicolas Cage.
Alright.
You've got Iceman and Angel from the X-Men,
Yeah.
and you've got Black Widow.
It just seems like a really weird combination of people.
Yeah, it is. And it's kind of a joke now.
I can imagine why.
There's an issue of Hawkeye recently that's where Kate Bishop's moved to Los Angeles, and she's cornered by some bad guys, and she goes, "Look, it's Hercules, Black Widow, Angel, Ghost Rider and Iceman. They're fighting crime together, but why? It makes no sense." And the henchmen kind of turn around and she gets away.
It doesn't make any sense. Why are they together? Who decided that this was a good thing?
She was the leader of this team, and she briefly tried to get on with Hercules,
Right, of course.
but that didn't work out.
Good.
The Champion's most notable role in comics, in the comics history,
Yeah.
is trying to take down the Incredible Hulk, unaware
Okay.
that he was actually trying to save his cousin Jennifer and get her to a hospital to get her the blood transfusion that would eventually make her She-Hulk.
Go She-Hulk.
It was during this time that an enemy from her time alongside Daredevil kidnapped her mentor Ivan to lure her to her death. A guy named Damon Dran, the Indestructible Man.
Okay. Is he made of metal?
No.
It's just really shiny.
Yeah, that's more of his costume.
Alright. Would have made more sense if he was metal though.
Yeah. Well, he's going to come back later. He lures her to his island, because he's a villain, he's an island. There's
Of course.
So many
It
of
comes with a package.
where he has a small army of female combat specialists to destroy them.
Of course he does.
And then once she's out of the way, he's going to send a fake Black Widow to S.H.I.E.L.D. to assassinate Nick Fury.
A fake Black Widow.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to notice that it's not her.
Unfortunately for him, Black Widow defeats his entire army, saves a mentor, and tells Nick Fury about it, who bombs the shit out of his island.
Yep. That sounds about right.
On her next mission, she finds her husband, Alexei, is alive,
Oh.
but he's not.
Oh. What?
It's a life model decoy, a robot,
Amazing.
created by Russian agents to blackmail her back into service of Mother Russia.
Yep.
And once she finished the task they gave her, the Russians told her the truth and attempted to kill her. But with Ivan's assistance, she defeats the Russians and destroys the robot husband.
Yeah. Good.
There's also a story where Iron Man teams up with Black Widow to prevent an agent named October, with a K,
October.
from attempting to start World War III.
Okay. Right.
It turns out that October, the mysterious October, was Natasha.
Was.
Yeah.
What?
Who had been brainwashed and some of the old KGB programming had come back out.
Yeah.
So she gets her head straight on and they capture the guy who did that to her.
Yep. Good. Good.
But so many Black Widow stories come down to she gets captured and her mind gets tampered with.
Yeah. It just seems like it's just she's like a playing piece for them.
Yeah. She finally gets her due as a member of the Avengers, where she leads an incarnation of the team.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it's one of the less well-regarded incarnations of the team.
Oh.
This was during a time where, for brevity's sake, let's say the Avengers were dead for a bit.
Yeah.
There's more to it than that, but it's not wrong either.
Did they just go away?
Yeah. It involves Onslaught, and Onslaught's the whole thing. Basically, they'll sacrifice themselves to defeat a giant evil, but it turned out they didn't die, they were in a pocket dimension on the other side of the sun.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because comics.
So during this time, she was trying to keep the team together and live up to the Avengers name, but it wasn't really working, and Tony Stark's lawyers were kind of on her case about them using the Avengers name,
Right.
and the team falls apart.
Yeah, it's probably like unsurprising given the circumstances.
Yeah. When the main roster of Avengers come back, she's relieved of her duties and heads back to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
So she's like jets around the world, Agent S.H.I.E.L.D., living the life.
Good times.
She's living in New York where Daredevil shows up with a baby
Okay.
who is being manipulated and coerced into believing possibly could be the Antichrist.
What? Who told him that a baby was the Antichrist?
It turns out to be a plot by Mysterio.
Okay.
You know, the Spider-Man villain with the fishbowl for a head.
Yep. I do know him.
It gets to the point where Matt actually tries to kill the baby.
Oh.
Because he's just like, he has his life just thoroughly fucked with.
Yeah, he's just so convinced that this baby
Yeah.
is the devil.
But Natasha stands in his way and fights him off. While that's going on, Bullseye kills the baby.
Why does everyone kill babies? What's the deal? This one, like, at least got born, but Jesus.
Upon the child's death, Daredevil realised what he was doing, and he and Black Widow reconciled. They had a conversation where they admitted they still cared for each other, but they decided it just doesn't work. Later on, the government of Bulgaria captured Madam Hydra
Okay.
and requested an exchange with the United States for Black Widow, because the United States want Madam Hydra for crimes to the United States, Bulgaria want Black Widow for crimes to Bulgaria while she was in the KGB.
Yeah.
And there's a very specific reason why I don't have a picture of Madam Hydra to show you. I googled her, and the first like 3 pages are just like, you know, those creepy £200 statues.
Yeah.
There's like really detailed, creepy. And I apologise if anyone has like a bunch of those, but they're a bit creepy.
What? Why are there no pictures?
I don't know. I could go through my comics and scan something in maybe, but I just,
It's just not worth
yeah.
it.
So as part of a sting to find out who it was that was going to allow Natasha to be exchanged, Daredevil, S.H.I.E.L.D. and Black Widow find out that it was all orchestrated by Alexei.
Ah, amazing.
He was
Of course
alive.
it was. All along. Sneaky bastard.
He gets arrested for it and taken into S.H.I.E.L.D. custody.
Good. Conniving. Oh shit.
After this, Nick Fury recruits Captain America, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Black Widow, Luke Cage, Wolverine, and a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent named Daisy Johnson
Okay.
in an attempt to covertly overthrow Latveria and their president, Lucia von Bardus, due to the belief that they're illegally supplying American supervillains with tech.
Okay. That sounds cool.
Because at this point, Doctor Doom, who is generally the monarch of Latveria, is currently in hell,
Obviously.
obviously.
Just naturally.
So they go in and they fuck shit up in Latveria.
Yep.
A year later, things come back to haunt them, and Luke Cage gets just blown up and left in a coma,
Oh.
as Fury and a bunch of the New York heroes face off against Lucia von Bardus, who is now a cyborg.
What?
And she has a high-tech army of supervillains.
She's now a cyborg.
Yeah.
Why is she a cyborg?
Because she got like fucked up when the superheroes went to Latveria.
Because that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Wow.
It turns out it was all a big plan to get all the superheroes in one place so they could blow them up.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's easier.
She's destroyed by Daisy Johnson, who turns out to have like earthquake powers.
That's cool.
And as far as I'm aware, one of the girls in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. turned out to actually be Daisy Johnson,
That's awesome.
but also an Inhuman.
Oh, okay.
Like,
Right.
there's a girl in S.H.I.E.L.D. who didn't know who her parents were, and then she found her dad, and her dad called her Daisy, and then she was exposed to Terrigen Mists, and she got earthquake powers.
Right. Okay.
But this isn't explain kind of boring TV shows. This is comic books.
Kind of boring TV shows.
So the thing is, besides from Daisy Johnson and Black Widow, none of the superheroes remember this happening.
Oh, right.
Turns out Fury like mind wiped him after it was over.
That's nice.
Wolverine just gets so angry about this
Okay.
because that's his like deal. People constantly fuck with his mind,
Yeah, like that's
like Weapon X and shit.
Whole sitch.
So he just like claws the shit out of Nick Fury, who turns out to be a life model decoy.
Yep. I'm seeing a pattern emerging here.
Well, life model decoys are especially associated with Nick Fury.
Okay.
He's the character who uses them the most.
Well, maybe he shouldn't.
Yeah, well, Nick Fury's a whole other kind of, like, I do not have time to get into what Nick Fury's up to at the moment. But all
Is it a whole mess?
all I'll say is he's currently living on the moon.
Everyone's currently living in that one patch of the moon.
No, because the people who generally live there are the Inhumans and the Watcher. The Inhumans are living in the Hudson River, and the Watcher got shot for his eyes.
Yeah, but like...
Nick Fury is basically the new Watcher.
Oh, right, okay. Because everyone seems to have lived there at some point.
Yeah. So Nick Fury says, I'm done, I'm out, you're not going to see me again. And he's already gone.
He's left, he's buggered off.
Spoiler alert, he's not gone.
Spoiler alert, he was there all along.
So Natasha is confronted by a woman named Yelena Belova,
Okay, yes.
who is a Red Room graduate and the first person to beat Natasha's records.
Ooh.
And because of this, she claims that she's earned the name Black Widow.
Yeah, isn't it? It's like a title.
Yeah. Natasha instead tries to encourage Yelena to find out who she is outside of the Black Widow identity and outside of her devotion to her country.
Ah.
And eventually resorts to shattering her romantic view of espionage through manipulation and torture.
Okay. That's a good turn.
Disillusioned, Yelena moves to Cuba to become a businesswoman and model.
Businesswoman and
Slash
model. Incredible.
I think she runs like a number of soft porn channels in Cuba for a while.
Fair play to her. She was a businesswoman and model.
Nice. She's recruited back to S.H.I.E.L.D., but it turns out it's not really S.H.I.E.L.D., it's a section of S.H.I.E.L.D. that's been taken over by the Skrulls during the Secret Invasion.
Yeah, the Scrolls.
And she's recruited to oversee their illegal vibranium mining operation in the Savage Land.
Okay.
Vibranium is a very rare metal. It's only found in Wakanda, which is where Black Panther's from,
Yeah.
and the Savage Land.
Right. So it's very important that they mine this.
Yeah, it's very important, it's very rare, and it can absorb sound.
Oh, so it's hella expensive too.
Yeah, Captain America's shield is made up of a adamantium vibranium polymer.
Right.
That's why it's so indestructible. The Avengers show up and there's a big fight. And during the fight, Yelena is horribly burned by the character Sauron.
Okay. Whoa! That's amazing.
The one thing you can't see is that he wears never nude shorts.
Oh, no way! Oh, that's incredible!
He is a mutant, a human mutant, and that is his power. And he can kind of drain life force from people as well.
That's really cool.
You may remember him from the cartoon. He
Uh,
was in kind of the later episodes of the cartoon. That's what he looked like in the cartoon.
he seems familiar. I want to see him with the shorts on.
Okay, come here.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you recognise him?
I do.
Okay, he's not really important to the story. The important part is that Yelena is just kind of scarred and fucked up by
Yeah.
Sauron. She's approached on a hospital bed by Hydra
Yeah.
with the offer to be restored and upgraded to take revenge on the Avengers.
Okay.
They turn her into the new Super Adaptoid.
Which is...
Super Adaptoid is usually a robot which absorbs the powers of anyone it touches.
Okay. Usually.
Yeah, well I'm saying usually because she's not a robot.
Yeah.
She's defeated by the Avengers when Iron Man activates all of his old armours,
Okay.
like in Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
And then she was mad from absorbing the Sentry's powers,
Oh.
because when you're the Sentry and you're the Void at the same time.
Yeah.
She's then killed by Hydra via a hidden self-destruct mechanism that they put in when they made her the Super Adaptoid,
Oh, sad.
before she could be interrogated. So back to Natasha. You know about Civil War? What do you know about Civil War?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Literally nothing other than they're making a film about it.
Okay, the film's going to be very different. In the comics, a bunch of teenage superheroes kind of get in a fight above their pay grade,
Okay.
and like a bunch of people die. A guy named Nitro, who can explode himself and come back to life, does that next to a school bus.
Oh. What? Okay.
So at this point we need to start doing like a little counter for like every dead child.
Yeah, like, people are dying.
And around this time there's a bill being passed around called the Superhuman Registration Act.
Okay.
And after this it kind of gets pushed to the forefront and it passes.
Yeah.
So if you're a superhero you need to register with
Government.
with S.H.I.E.L.D. and with the government.
Oh, wow.
And this splits the superhero community down the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
So Iron Man leads the pro-registration side, and Captain America leads the anti-registration side.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Widow joins Iron Man's side, who eventually win. Where after the pro and anti have a big fight, Captain America is about to win on Iron Man,
Yeah.
but but he's tackled by like a bunch of like normal people,
Cool.
and he realises he's fucked up, and he looks around, and there's just damage everywhere, property damage.
Yeah, like you fucked up bad.
Is it
so-
worth it?
No.
So he surrenders.
Good.
In the wake of that, Tony Stark launches the 50 State Initiative,
Okay.
which is a superhero team in every state,
Oh.
led by the Mighty Avengers in New York,
Mhm.
which is Black Widow, like not first, but she gets a really high-profile slot in that Avengers team.
Yes. Good.
And for a brief period, she actually takes over S.H.I.E.L.D. when Maria Hill, who is, Robin from...
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time. Actually, no. Tony Stark is the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time. He gets taken over by Ultron.
Mhm.
Then Maria Hill gets knocked out, so Black Widow's like the third in line.
Okay.
So during the Ultron crisis, she runs S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's awesome.
One thing I want to specify about Civil War, and I think we'll do an episode, I don't know what it'll be, but it'll come up at some point where we'll just talk about what happens in Civil War and what happened around it. If you just describe what happens in Civil War, it sounds really cool. It's not a very good comic.
Yeah, I remember you being like really annoyed.
Yeah.
You were like, no.
Yeah, because Debate
When
and
they
Switch does as
announced
well.
it.
Debated and Switch does.
Why is it not cool?
No, there's a lot of cool stuff in it when you just say this happens, then this happens, then this happens, then this happens. Like I wouldn't be sat here doing this with you if it wasn't for Civil War.
Yeah.
Because I was in college, just on Wikipedia looking at superheroes and just seeing what was up with superheroes these days. And it was like in the midst of Civil War, like issue 3 had just come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? The superheroes are fighting each other, and Iron Man's on this side, and all these guys are on Iron Man's side, and Captain America's on this side, and all these guys are on Captain America's side, and Spider-Man's on Iron Man's side, and you've just revealed his identity to the public. So I was like, I need to start reading comics again.
Yeah.
Because I've not read comics since I was a kid. I never read comics month to month seriously until Civil War. So if it wasn't for Civil War, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be a much different person. But in hindsight, it's not very good.
That's fair enough.
And we will cover it at some point. So, following Captain America's surrender at the end of Civil War, he's taken for trial and assassinated on the courthouse steps.
Oh.
So, Captain America, dead.
We need to stop killing people.
This was a big, big news story as well. It was in the Metro.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they killed Captain America.
Yeah.
That's good. They need to stop murdering people. That's not the point.
No, it is the point because it got them in newspapers. It gets them public attention.
Was the point for the company to get, like, publicity?
I think it helps. I think some of them are. But this was all part of a guy named Ed Brubaker who wrote like a 7-year run on Captain America.
Okay.
It was all part of his story.
Alright.
And that's what we're going to talk about now. Tony Stark, as director of S.H.I.E.L.D., assigns Natasha to take Captain America's shield to a secure location, but she's intercepted by Bucky, the Winter Soldier,
Yep.
who steals the shield.
Mm-hmm.
He gets captured by the Red Skull, and Black Widow and Falcon, who are both kind of on the same trail, separately, meet up. They rescue Bucky from Red Skull, and they bring him to the shield helicarrier, where Stark has a letter from Captain America that says, if anything happens to me,
Take my shield here.
not just that, if anything happens to me, Bucky should be the new Captain America.
Yeah.
Like, look after Bucky for me, and he needs this to keep him on the straight and narrow, because we'll cover Bucky in another episode, but he's suffering from a load of guilt.
Yeah, he's problematic, from
Yeah.
what I know.
Yeah, so he becomes the new Captain America.
Oh, my bae.
He kind of goes out in the field with Natasha, and they become a couple for the first time properly,
Oh.
and they fall proper head over heels in love with each other.
Oh, babes. I'm happy for them.
There's a story called Dark Reign, which comes at the end of Secret Invasion, where there's this big battle between the Skrulls and the humans, led by the Queen Skrull,
Yeah.
and the person who gets the killing shot is Norman Osborn,
Okay.
the Green Goblin,
Yeah.
who at the time is running the Thunderbolts.
Right.
So he gets made director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Because of that.
and S.H.I.E.L.D. gets dismantled and rebuilt as the more proactive, more evil Hammer.
Okay.
H.A.M.M.E.R.
What does this mean?
They never say. It's kind of a running joke. It's kind of a running joke that.
Amazing. Everything needs to be so important it has acronyms.
So all of the Thunderbolts at the time become the new Avengers.
Yeah.
Like Bullseye becomes the new Hawkeye. Wolverine's son Daken becomes the new Wolverine. Moonstone becomes the new Ms. Marvel. Stuff like that.
Everyone sort of levels up.
Yeah, but Norman Osborn still has a need for a Thunderbolts team to do the dirty work that the Avengers can't do. And one of the people that he recruits for that is the seemingly alive Yelena Belova.
Okay. Even though she's not
Alive.
Yeah.
Turns out she's not alive, and it's actually Natasha,
Okay.
who's been sent in by Nick Fury to recover Songbird, who is a Thunderbolt, like Gen 1 Thunderbolt, who genuinely went from bad guy to good guy, and might have information about Osborn and his operations.
Okay.
Osborn eventually gets ousted, and S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back, led by the now alive Steve Rogers.
Everyone's undead.
Yeah, and I'm not going to cover how he comes back, but there'll be an episode for that at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
I think more than most episodes, this has been the one where we've gone, and there'll be that. We will do that. We will cover that.
Like, everyone's dead, but not really. We'll explain it later.
She joins the Secret Avengers, who are kind of very similar to the Thunderbolts when you think about it. They're the Avengers that do the jobs that the Avengers can't be seen doing.
Yeah, hence the secret.
So after this, she gets another solo series where she's attacked by a mysterious assailant who cuts her open in the middle of the street and takes something from inside her.
Oh.
She's rushed to the hospital, but the gas that the guy used to knock her out overrides the anaesthetic, and she feels every single cut during the surgery.
Oh, no, that's horrible. No thanks.
It turns out that the thing stolen from inside her body was a tiny recording device, which was kind of her plan B for in case anything went wrong.
Oh,
She had like dirt on everyone.
it's like a black box.
Yeah, but this was spun as her spying and selling the Avengers secrets to the highest bidder.
She tried.
She escapes from hospital and goes to ground to try and find the person pulling the government strings, trying to set her up.
Yeah.
She heads to London to find answers, and she's confronted by a being named Sumi,
Who is?
who kind of controls people's bodies.
Okay.
She gets the upper hand, but Sumi reveals that he knows everything about her, even the baby that she lost.
Oh,
So that's another ding on the dead baby count.
no, can people stop? Why? Oh, I hate it so much.
Sumi turns out to be an old Avengers villain named Imus Champion, because he's so smart he went, I don't want to know it's me just yet. Imus.
I'm a champion.
Flip it around. Sumi. Got it. So this is Imus Champion.
Okay. He looks like the kind of guy that would do that.
And he's been using robotic proxies
Oh no.
to just
ruin everything.
ruin everything. Following a confrontation with him, she's arrested by Captain America for treason.
Oh dear.
And this is Captain America Bucky.
Yeah.
Captain America, her boyfriend.
Yeah, her bae.
Turns out it's all a plan to get Natasha closer to the corrupt government official working with Imus.
Okay.
She records him confessing their master plan to ruin her, and reveals that within the chip, the recording chip, she had a computer virus that she activated, so that if anyone downloads the contents of the chip, their computer gets just
Mashed.
destroyed, which includes the processors in the heads of the robots.
Ah, that's clever.
She confronts Imus one-on-one and defeats him, and he wants her to kill him,
Yeah.
but he's got like a diseased, dying body, so she's like, nope, going to let that happen all on its own.
Oh, that's evil. That's amazing, but it's evil.
After this, she teams up with Hawkeye, Mockingbird, and a guy named Dominic Fortune to investigate a string of killings by the seemingly defunct Japanese Black Ops squad called the Dark Ocean Society,
Okay.
who are led by someone in the Ronin costume.
Whoa. Okay, sweet.
Ronin was originally a lady named Maya Lopez, who was also known as Echo, but when Clint Barton came back from the dead after House of M, he took over the role as Ronin for a while before he went back to Hawkeye.
So that's why there's no lady anymore.
Yeah, but now someone in a Ronin costume is running around leading the Dark Ocean Society.
Uh-huh.
Russia's answer to the Avengers, the Supreme Soviets,
Amazing.
show up to take Hawkeye in, and they do a little fight.
Do a little fight.
Turns out the Supreme Soviets were actually sent by the Dark Ocean Society to distract the heroes so that they could kill some more dudes.
Seems about right.
After Mockingbird and Dominic Fortune and Hawkeye and Black Widow split up to find the answers they need, turns out it's Alexei, his Ronin.
Ah, When will he die?
He triggers a volcano on this island and surrounds the superheroes with a superpowered army. Black Widow faces him in hand-to-hand combat, or does she?
Is it a robot?
No. One of the members of the Supreme Soviets is a lady named Phantasma,
Okay.
who looks like a beautiful, gorgeous, like sexy lady with no clothes, but is actually just like a demure, shy, like late teen
Oh.
who's been manipulated by Alexei
Oh no.
in the same way that
that's the worst.
Natasha was when she was that age. So she bonds with this girl and is like, I think we should fuck this guy up.
Yeah, like that happened to me. Destroy him.
So Black Widow convinces Phantasma to make Alexei think he's fighting Black Widow so she can take him out from behind.
Yeah.
Alexei gets taken into your custody, and that is the last we'll talk about him on this episode.
Is he gone?
He's gone. For now.
Good.
For now.
He's the worst.
So everything's lovely with Natasha and Bucky.
Good.
Lovely couple.
That's awesome.
A guy named Leo Novikov,
Okay.
an elite Soviet soldier trained by Bucky in the Red Room, is woken from stasis with amnesia.
Yeah.
And as his memories begin to return, he sees his former mentor as Captain America,
Oh.
and that drives him just over the edge.
Yeah. It's a bit much.
So he starts planning his revenge on Bucky, and in the meantime, Steve Rogers does the whole thing.
Undead Steve Rogers.
Bucky gets killed in Fear itself,
Okay.
but it turns out that he just gets really, really badly beaten up, and they use that to make everyone think that he's dead, so Steve can take over as Captain America again,
Oh, he's taken it back.
and Bucky can go back to being the Winter Soldier, so that he can do... Everyone thinks he's dead, so it makes it easier for him to be a spy.
Yeah. So no one's looking out for him.
But this Leo Novikov guy knows that Bucky isn't dead, and I really don't want to say this next sentence.
Oh dear.
He kidnaps Black Widow and reactivates her Soviet programming.
Yeah.
In an attempt to save Natasha, Bucky agrees to reactivate his Winter Soldier programming to carry out a secret mission, which turns out to be kill Daredevil.
Okay.
He's stopped by Daredevil, Captain America, Wolverine and Hawkeye, and they team up to save Natasha.
Right.
They split up to find his bomb, because he's got a bomb.
Yeah.
And Bucky finds him with Natasha at Arlington Cemetery, which is... Do you know what Arlington is?
No.
It's kind of the war hero cemetery
Uh-huh.
in America. They end up taking him in alive, but Bucky realises that Black Widow has no memory of him.
Yeah.
They manage to restore all of her other memories, and everything comes back, but the one thing that just is severed for good is her memories of him.
Oh no.
And Captain America and Wolverine and Hawkeye suggest like a bunch of things that they could do, but Bucky goes, she's had a mind mess with enough,
We're not gonna do that.
and being with me just brings her nothing but pain.
Oh,
So as far as she's aware,
they were never together.
they were never together.
Oh, that's so sad. Oh no.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh, that's really sad.
So most recently in her current solo series, which is the one that I've set up on your iPad, she's taken jobs to help support the families of the innocents she killed while in KGB.
Oh, that's nice.
So she's taken like spy jobs and assassin jobs, but only people that deserve to be spied on and assassinated.
So she's like the Dexter of the superhero world.
Kind of, yeah. But with all of the money from the proceeds going towards previous victims.
Oh, okay. That's nice of her.
She's brought into conflict with an organisation called Chaos after she takes down a prospective suicide bomber under their employ.
Okay.
She next crosses paths with Chaos when they send an agent named Mullo
Who?
Boga,
Monoboga. Okay. Good beard.
who is a mad monk kind of guy who believes he is the hammer of God.
Okay then.
And he gets the best of Black Widow on like 3 different occasions. She finally catches up to him at Gatwick Airport where he's trying to take down a plane.
At Gatwick Airport.
What's wrong with that? Planes fly to Gatwick Airport.
It's just
Planes with important people.
It's just like when you think of superhero stories, it's always like the heart of New York or something, not Gatwick Airport.
Oh, Black Widow's a globetrotter.
Just some random scabby London airport.
Could have been Luton.
Luton Airport's alright.
Is it?
It's alright.
Okay, I don't know.
Not terrible.
She manages to take down Boga and she saves the plane, which turns out to only have one man in it.
Okay. Who is?
He's just someone that Chaos want killed, he gets taken into for questioning by Shield, and they somehow manage to kill him anyway,
Okay.
which like kind of makes
He's
things
gone.
real.
Yeah.
Natasha's contacts send her to a barge on a kind of hunt for chaos,
Yeah.
where she finds Damon Dran, the indestructible man,
Mhm.
who is falling apart and becoming more destructible every day.
Not
And he's-
quite indestructible anymore.
Yep. He's keeping himself alive in a hyperbaric chamber.
Yep.
Like Michael Jackson style.
Michael Jackson. Yes.
She takes Dran into Shield custody, but he's murdered by a double agent.
Oh.
Like a Shield agent who's actually a Chaos agent.
Yeah. That's not good.
Her hunt brings her into contact with Daredevil, Hawkeye, Punisher, and Chaos kidnap her lawyer and agent, a guy named Isaiah,
Okay.
who is the guy that kind of sets up all the contracts for her
Yeah. Like,
and is her main supporting cast.
keeps an eye out.
But he's rescued by Black Widow with the help of Wolverine's clone, X-23.
Yep.
Most recently, while on a mission in Somalia, Anderson Cooper. Do you know what Anderson Cooper is?
The TV guy?
The TV guy.
Why is Anderson Cooper being involved in this? What's Anderson's business?
Anderson Cooper was in an issue of Black Widow.
Why? Does he know?
Does he know what?
Does he know he's in this?
Yes, he does.
Like, did they contact him of all people to be in this?
Well, I'll tell you why in just a second.
Okay.
See? Anderson Cooper.
Oh, Jesus. It looks exactly like him as well.
Yeah, Phil Noto is an amazing artist.
That's incredible.
So, he does an expose on Black Widow, questioning whether she deserves to be an Avenger, whether there should be greater oversight into the Avengers,
Yeah,
because she is an assassin and a spy,
she is.
a former KGB agent.
Yeah, she's not the best example
Yeah.
for
So,
superhero.
do you see why Anderson Cooper was in the comic now?
I do. I just think it's hilarious that they didn't make up
Yeah.
like just generic news guy
I know,
and
but-
just thought, you know who we could have?
Yeah.
Anderson Cooper. Why not?
And this brings her into the public spotlight more than ever before.
Yeah, because Anderson Cooper reported on her.
Yeah. She has to go into hiding, and she has a list of Chaos agents, and she begins the hunt. And that is where we are. That is Black Widow. I did miss out on some stuff towards the end with the Secret Avengers.
Like what? Anything like massively important?
Not massively important to her character, I don't think. If I have missed anything important, please let me know and I will.
You'll rectify it next week.
I will. So, thoughts on Black Widow?
I like her. However, I'm annoyed that like a whole bunch of her stories and she got a new boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But like towards the end, it was like, yeah, she paid her dues. Like
Yeah.
she got a good place in the Avengers, and
Mhm.
like helped all the people from before.
Yeah.
She made up for it.
Would you be interested in seeing this sort of character and motivations be applied to Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
Do you
I
think
think
that could
so.
work within the Avengers movies that they've set up now?
I don't know. She's not been like a massive part so far,
Yeah.
so I think they could get it in somehow.
Well, one of the things that the comics have really picked up on is kind of her main part in any of those movies. Her conversation with Loki
Yeah.
about the guilt of her past,
Yeah.
which I think really informs the current story where she's trying to support the families of people she killed.
Yeah.
I don't think that story would exist if it wasn't for the Avengers movie.
Yeah, I think they could sort of work it so that the films are more similar to the comics.
Yeah, it's kind of more the other way where they try and fit the comics around the films.
Yeah, I assume because like people will watch the film and then think, oh, there's comics about this.
Yeah, there was a 12-issue miniseries about this guy who is this black guy named Marcus Johnson, I think. And over the course of the series, he's hunted down by a bunch of assassins, and he is the biggest target, and no one knows why. And it turns out he's Nick Fury's son.
Oh, right.
And he's a normal guy, 2 eyes, full head of hair. Over the course of the series, he ends up getting all of his hair burned off, and he loses an eye.
So it's exactly the same as Nick.
Yeah, so by the end of the series, they have a Nick Fury that looks like Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Because he now goes by Nick
That's
Fury Jr.
clever.
Yeah, it's kind of frustrating to fans though.
Yeah, it's clever, but
It's clever, but it's like
it's a bit like, okay.
tell us stories rather than like. I don't think you need to waste 12 issues to get the comics close to the films.
Yeah, it just seems a bit pointless.
Mhm.
Like, we're just trying to make it similar.
Yeah. So, Black Widow, thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
I like her. She's
You
a
look
powerful lady.
Yeah, you look forward to reading those comics, got you?
I am.
I try my best to be a bit vaguer in that last section, just because I know you're going to read those issues.
Alright, yeah.
So I apologise to anyone listening to this, but I need to protect my boo.
I'll inform everyone what I thought on Twitter.
Okay. So, with that in mind, let's finish the show. Let's wrap it up. If anyone wants to check out the show on a more regular basis, you can go to iTunes, where you can subscribe to the show, drop it right in your feed every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday-ish.
Any day goes up.
Yeah, whenever it goes up. If you give us a rating and review, that'd be really great. Help people find the show. We're also on Stitcher. If you don't like iTunes, which is fairly reasonable.
Yeah. The app is terrible.
God awful. You can go to kingimpulse.com, which has all the episodes, going back in the show notes and all that sort of stuff. If you do have any corrections or comments or questions or anything, you can email journeytomisery@gmail.com. And we do, like I said at the start of the show,
Appreciate it.
I constantly worry that I'm going to miss something big. So as long as you're not a dick about it, I really appreciate anyone who will say, "Oh no, wait, you forgot this."
Yeah, because
Don't actually me, but
I think other people have more vivid memory of different bits than you do, probably.
yeah.
Like, people might be bigger fans of the different different era, different characters.
Finally, once again, Patreon. Patreon.com/kingimpulse, where we have a bunch of rewards and milestone goals. I'm toying with doing something with this new tablet I got.
No. Okay.
Because I've got this new tablet and I'm getting better at drawing on it. Or at least tracing the old Greg Land style. If no one saw my She-Hulk pitch on Twitter,
Oh Jesus.
you really missed out.
It's quite the artwork.
So we're bearing the lead here a little bit. Patreon.com/kingimpulse. The more money we get, it all goes straight back into the show. I'm not seeing a penny of it. It's going into improving the audio, into making longer episodes. I'm a bit annoyed that this episode isn't going to be as long as the others. It's going to be about 40 to 45 minutes once I've chopped it all up.
It's not dramatically shorter though.
Yeah, but I promise on Patreon that they're going to be longer going forward.
Yeah. But you can't really help that though.
Yeah, hopefully next week's will be nice and long. Next week we are doing Shazam.
Which I know absolutely shit all about.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. So as we get out of here, my name is Kieran Shiak. I am at King Impulse on Twitter.
I'm Helena Hart. I'm at HG on Twitter.
This has been our journey into misery, and we'll see you next week.